Well, I wonder how you've got on with our tour through the Bible looking at the subject of worship. I hope you've appreciated it. Personally, I found I've learned a number of things. Certainly in the New Testament passages, looking closely at the text, there were things I hadn't realised before, which have been very interesting. Anyway, to conclude, let's just look at what we do as churches as it might appear to an outsider. Let's imagine a man, he's bought a house in a town and, to put it bluntly, he's decided the house is haunted and he wants some help, he doesn't know where to turn. There's a church in his road, he's never been, and perhaps these people can help him. So he goes along, tries the door, it's locked, never mind, there's a board outside with a phone number, so he rings that and he finds that there's only somebody there, office hours, he's invited to leave a message. He doesn't want to do that. There is an emergency number he could ring if he wanted. Well, is this really an emergency? He didn't want to make too much trouble. Then his eye falls on the fact that there's a meeting. It's called a service, Sunday morning, 10:30. He's never been. Well, why not try it? Turn up, maybe he can get some help then. So on Sunday he arrives. In fact, he stands the other side of the street for a bit. He really does not want to be the first person to arrive because that's very conspicuous. So he waits till quite a few people have gone in and then hopes he can slip in unobserved. Goes in there, there's somebody at the back and he says, look, I've come, I really need some help. Doesn't quite know how to introduce the subject. And the guy says, yes, end of the service, that's brilliant. Here's a book, and he's ushered into a pew. Everybody's facing the front. Well, there we are. He's singing things that he doesn't recognise. And then after a bit, all the children and a number of adults start flooding out from the back. And he spots a guy there who's going out with the other people and he thinks, here's my chance. So he gets up and he goes off out and he taps the guy on the shoulder and said, look, excuse me, I think I need some help. Now, transfer yourself to the person who's just had his shoulder tapped. How would you feel? Would you feel thrilled? This is a great opportunity. Here's somebody, he really needs some help. Well, you see what I'm trying to get at. I think we've got our churches back to front, really. The church should be orientated to the world. If you took the back wall off that church and it was glass so you could see in, all the people would be facing to God and they've got their backs to the world. Now contrast that with the advice given to young teachers I once read. If you're starting as a school teacher, the advice was, never let the children see your back. That is, they don't see you ahead of them going in through the school gate because you're already there, and they don't see your back as you leave at the end of the school day because you're the last person to leave. You become part of the furniture. But the way we do church in our country, all we ever show is our backs, that people see us worshipping the Lord and we're facing the Lord and not facing out. Now when Jesus and Paul in the Gospels went to the synagogue, they were facing out towards the people. I think we've got the whole thing completely the wrong way around. I think the activities we do at church, we should be doing at home. That is, the worship, do it at home. Do you remember we looked at Psalm 113, and it says, from the rising of the sun to where it sets, the name of the Lord is to be praised? Well, that's all day. We should have the attitude of praise in our hearts. It's not when we go to the meeting. All day, that's what we should be doing. And sing with our prayers and mastering the Bible. It's not appropriate for people to stand up on a Sunday morning and try and teach the Bible. The way to get to know the Bible is to read it at home, lashings of it, hour after hour, so that we really get on top of it, and then we're ready to help other people. So that seems to me the thing to do. Now, finally, I'd like to just share my own experience of what church has been like in my lifetime, and you see what you think about it. My parents were churchgoers, so I've been going to churches since I was 3, I suppose, and during that time I reckon I've been a member of 17 churches. I worked it out. I think I've sung 20,000 hymns or accompanied them on the piano, 4,000 sermons approximately, intercessions 4,000 times, that kind of thing. Number of sick people I've prayed for, maybe 1,000, I don't know. Number of demons I've cast out from people, less than 100. Number of people that I've witnessed to personally about the good news of Jesus, it's getting uncomfortable, considerably less than 100. Number of people I've personally led to Christ, Well, quite honestly, I think it's only two. If you look at what Jesus and Paul and so on were doing in the Gospels and the New Testament, it's completely different. I don't know. By all means, let's have the house of God in our town. But if you're going to have that, at least make sure it's 24 hours. We reckon on the emergency services, the fire and hospitals, all that kind of thing. Even the Las Vegas casinos, they're open 24 hours. Couldn't we have the house of God open 24 hours and the whole thing orientated so that when anybody comes in, supposing somebody comes in, got an addiction problem, they're immediately met, or homeless or something, immediately met by concerned people who are going to help them? We just don't give that image so far, at least not in my neck of the woods in our country. I think we need to take a long, good, hard look at our churches, and I don't think our current model of we gather together to worship on Sunday mornings is the right one. Thank you for your attention through this series.